Let's talk about this really powerful idea, the concept of repainting your life. You know, just like you can give a room a totally fresh look and feel with a new coat of paint, you can actually transform your own life through intentional change, which, of course, begs the question.
I mean, really think about it. Have you ever felt kind of stuck or just felt like you were so ready for a fresh start? A moment where you just wished you could grab a paintbrush and create a whole new version of yourself? Well, that's the big question we're diving into today.
You know, it's funny, the biggest push for change often comes from a crisis. Just think back to the 2020 pandemic. That was a time of huge uncertainty, and it forced so many of us to completely reinvent ourselves. So these big disruptions, they're not just setbacks, they're actually powerful invitations to start repainting.
So, where do we even begin with a project this big? Well, like any good paint job, right? You can't just slap a new color on a crumbling wall. You've got to prepare the surface first. And the first step in repainting your life is all about laying a really solid foundation.
And that brings us to maybe the most important question of all, one that was famously framed by Simon Sinek. Start with why. Before you even think about changing what you do, you have to be absolutely crystal clear on why you're doing it. This why, it's your purpose, your motivation. It's the engine that's going to power this whole transformation. But here's the thing. It's so important to understand that not all reasons are created equal. You've got shallow reasons, like, oh, I'm doing this because it's trendy, or because all my friends are doing it. That kind of motivation, it just won't last. But a deep reason, something that feels genuinely useful to you, or that lines up with your core values, well, that's the fuel that'll help you push through any obstacle.
And that deep reason, it becomes your lighthouse. Just imagine you're sailing through the stormy, totally unpredictable ocean of life. When you feel lost or overwhelmed, that light on the horizon, your why, is the one thing that keeps you on course. It's your ultimate guide. Okay, so our foundation is set and it's solid. Now it's time to actually start painting. This is the action phase, where we use powerful habits as our primary colors to create real, tangible change in our lives.
And this whole process really breaks down into 3 core habits. We're going to talk about mastering your energy, sharpening your focus, and building your mindset. Just think of these as the 3 primary colors you'll use to create your new life canvas.
Let's kick things off with energy. Look, one of the most effective ways to take control of your day is to take control of your morning. By waking up just a little bit earlier, you give yourself this quiet, uninterrupted window of time to invest in yourself before the rest of the world starts demanding your attention.
And the impact of this is just staggering. By waking up just 2 hours earlier each day, you gain 720 extra hours over a single year. Now stop and think about what you could do with that time. That's like getting an extra month and a half of waking hours every single year to learn a skill, build a business, or invest in your health. It is a total game changer.
All right, next up is focus. We all have that one thing on our to-do list that we just dread. You know, the big, ugly, difficult one. The most effective strategy? Do that one first. Get it out of the way before you do anything else. This whole idea is famously called eating the frog. The thinking is, once you've eaten your biggest, ugliest frog for the day, everything else just seems easy in comparison. It creates this incredible sense of accomplishment and momentum that literally carries you through the rest of your day.
Now, to make this even more powerful, you can use a principle called Parkinson's Law. Basically, it says that work expands to fill the time you give it. So, if you give yourself 2 weeks for a task you could probably do in 3 days, guess what? It's going to take you 2 weeks. The solution? Create shorter, fake deadlines for yourself to force that hyperfocus and efficiency.
And finally, let's talk about the most important tool you have in your kit, your mindset. Your internal attitude literally determines your external results. Real, lasting transformation always begins with how you think, how you learn, and importantly, how you listen. The investor Ray Dalio puts this perfectly. What he's saying is that real success isn't about what you already know. It's about how you handle the things you don't know. It's about being humble enough to admit when you might be wrong and curious enough to actually learn from it. So, building a growth mindset really comes down to how you approach the unknown. It means learning from your failures. It means being an empty cup ready to be filled. It means you listen to actually learn, not just to come up with a reply. And it means you actively find smart people who disagree with you. It's all about choosing learning over your own ego every single time.
So, with our foundation laid and these new habits in motion, what does the finished painting actually look like? Well, it turns out this kind of transformation has an impact that goes way beyond just you.
And this right here is a really crucial shift in perspective. Self-improvement is never, ever purely selfish. When you become more focused, more purposeful, more open-minded, you don't just improve your own life. You become a more effective force for good in your family, in your community, and in society as a whole.
And that really leaves us with this one final thought. As you start to repaint the canvas of your own life, how might that single act inspire and contribute to repainting the world around you? Because when one person changes for the better, the ripple effects can be truly, truly transformative.